We are Gathering of the Geeks, a podcast and YouTube show built around the things we as geeks all love. Hashtag We Gather on Sundays. Thank you for checking out the one about new actors. I'm one of your hosts, Emmet, and I'm joined by the Del Lasso to my coach Beard, Chris Evans. How you doing?
Swell. How are you doing?
That was going to be mine. I'm doing absolutely fantastic. How are you? That's good.
I had a good one earlier, and then I forgot. I'm tired, so Swell works.
Swell was going to be mine.
But speaking of Ted Lasso, did you see that Multiversus game?
Oh,
it's like Super Smash Bros. But with Warner Brothers. Bros.
Yes, I saw that.
So there's a rumored character leak that Ted Lasso will be a character in it because Warner Brothers owns Ted Lasso.
Right.
So I don't even know how that would work, but I'm excited if that happens.
Would he just fight you with jokes?
I think he would throw soccer balls or something. I don't know. I'm guessing that's what it would be.
That game is a pretty exciting idea just for all the type of characters they could have in there.
Yeah, because it's all of Warner Brothers, so they could. Yeah. You could have Harry Potter versus Game of Thrones characters.
That's what I want to see.
I want to see that, or like Batman versus. I guess Harry Potter. Yeah. Who else does WB have? I don't even know. I guess Bugs Bunny and stuff. Just Batman against anybody.
Yeah, well, exactly, and especially against Harry Potter. I think that would be fun. That's a good crossover.
I think so. Let's see the boy who lived take on the other boy who lived. Let's see that happen.
No, I like that. I like the connectivity in that one. That's very good.
Yeah, they can see each other. We're mirror images. You're a magic dude. I'm a rich dude. That's what it is.
Gathering of Geeks is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Gathering of the Geeks and you will find us. Chris, it was a weird week in the world as well as in the nerd space. A lot of things happened this week. We got trailers, we got TV shows, movies came out. How did you manage your week? We talked off air and I talked about this last week, where Sundays is basically the day where I get to catch up on everything. Did you use today's catch up, or did you find some time earlier in the week to get some things done?
Absolutely not. Sunday was my catch up day. Actually, a couple hours before the show. I read a bunch of comics, and whatever I watched throughout the week. But for some reason, comics seem to just go really good on Sundays.
I agree. I sat outside and read a little bit today. It's just a nice reading day.
It is. It's well, for me, it's not any less hectic, but it just seems to be the time I have. Unless it's like some books, I can't wait to read on Wednesday or even Tuesday. Mm-hmm. But if it's a DC book, but lately it just Sunday is the day for me. Really.
Ooh, deep. That's a very dad joke of you there, Grabs. Nice job.
I always appreciate dad jokes. You catch up. I relish Sundays.
So, what'd you read? What'd you watch this week, Chris?
So I read Bloodstained Teeth #2, which was pretty cool. I like the pacing of this book. Like, it doesn't linger at all. It's very just fast paced. It doesn't stop. Mm-hmm. So I like that. And I gotta say, the art is so different than what I'm used to. I like it a lot. Yeah. I read that. I loved Batman Fortress. Did you read that one?
I read it. I hadn't seen you tweet about it, but I've seen a lot of love for the book, for sure. Did you like it? Obviously, you liked it. What'd you like?
Yeah, it was awesome. Now, you and I were talking about the art the other day, and neither of us like the art. I still don't. The way that Batman is drawn is bizarre, and he has this weird, butt chin, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Bruce Wayne looks different. Yeah.
It's like a parody almost.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks weird. He reminds me of a character like Ren and Stimpy. But yeah, the writing is really cool, and everything else looks beautiful. It's just him that sucks. But Batman Fortress, that is one hell of a book. Looking forward to more about that. I tried to read Legion of X, and I don't even know if I was halfway through, but I just put it down. I was like, nope, cannot do this. Do not like it.
Can't do it.
Cannot do it. There was a lot of, it's all dialogue, like constant, large paragraph type dialogue. And I don't even understand what's going on in it. There's another new character I'm not familiar with called Forget Me Not, I believe, which is strange in itself. And then Juggernaut's in it, which I don't really like. And it's like
Are you not a Juggernaut fan?
I am a Juggernaut fan when he's a villain.
Oh, okay.
When he's a hero, I just don't get it.
Okay, gotcha.
It seems like when they try to make Sinister a hero, I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
They have done horrible things to mutant kind and humans. Why are we sharing a table with them and toasting?
I get you.
Are
they writing him likable, or is it just like when I was reading House of and Powers of 10 when Apocalypse was around, he very much still felt like a villain. The way he was being written and the way he was talking. Are they writing and doing it differently for Juggernaut and Sinister in a way?
Sinister, no, he's still pretty much Sinister now. He's a little bit lighter, like he's more fun, which I think is cool. I don't mind that.
Okay.
Juggernaut, honestly, I only read the 2 pages, so I was done.
Okay.
He came at the point where I was already done with the book. So if he is cool, I don't know. But this is when I was like, all right, this is enough. And as far as Apocalypse goes, they did write him more as like a heroic character once you got to 10 of Swords or X of Swords.
Right.
But he was actually good in that, so it's okay. That was okay. I guess all the way they're written, mostly. But Juggernaut and Sinister to me are just 2 characters I can't deal with being heroic. I don't know.
Are they trying to make them like anti-heroes, like Black Adam type of deal?
No, they're like cops. They're like Krakoan cops.
I love the sound of that, by the way.
It sounds cool in theory, and I think the idea is cool, but the execution is just complicated, and they're just too much.
Yeah, I don't know. We've talked about the Krakoa age of X-Men forever and ever, and this idea that like there's just so much going on, and too many books, and I don't know if it's watered down in a way. What issue is Legion on right now?
This was the first one.
Oh, you made it sound like it was like the 4th issue. Like
no, this is the first one.
It's been a real hassle for you to read.
It felt like a hassle. I don't know. I might have to go back and give it another shot, but today I would just not have it. So I kind of read some of that. I read Little Monsters #3, which I missed a couple weeks ago. I finally read that.
Yeah, 4 is there this coming week.
Yeah, I'm that far behind. So I like that. And I think that's the bulk of what I read. Now that I didn't read Moon Knight yet. I'll get to it. I think that's it.
Yeah, Moon Knight number 11, eh?
Yes. The Return of Zodiac. I'm excited.
Why is that an exciting thing for
It was more like 5 pages grabs.
So you mentioned Zodiac. Why is that a big thing in Moon Knight lore?
Because he usually doesn't have like full-on villains. He'll have like a villain of the week type of thing, but not a full-on villain. And they built Zodiac up in those first, I want to say 6 issues. And we didn't see him. This is the first time we've seen him since the 6th issue, I think. So we're going to get, I guess, their confrontation again or something. So it's exciting to give him a full villain.
Nice.
Other than Bushman.
Yeah, you think the Bushman's ever going to come along in this run? Well, I guess maybe eventually it might, way down the road, but do you think anytime soon?
I don't think so. I think they're going to focus on Zodiac, and then I forgot when they're doing it, but they're bringing the altars in. So
Moon Knight craziness.
Always. It's good stuff. I think that was all I read, though. Just that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't read anything this week, anything for new books. I haven't even read the newest saga that came out this past week. The newest Something is Killing the Children also came out this past week that I'm both big fans of, so I didn't read that. But I want to get into that Batman Fortress book a little bit more, because you mentioned. I saw some people online, in the sense that I got to, it felt very 90s Batman. Like from the Batman that I really started reading in, Grant Morrison, Scott Snyder, even a little bit of this feels maybe a little bit like the Brubaker Batman. This feels like a Batman from a different era almost.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Not just because Alfred is there, which please bring Alfred back.
I was going to say that they need to find a way to do this so bad. They got to do something with this Dark Crisis thing, something with the multiverse. Batman needs his Alfred back.
I want Alfred back.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I did read. I read that DC versus Vampires Hunters, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
So yeah, this does not feel like a Batman comic I've read recently. Batman, it's I don't want to say it's grittier, but it is darker, and not just with the art, but the way the story works. There's a point where you see the Penguin. I don't want to spoil it, but he's pretty vicious, and I haven't seen him like that in I don't know how long.
Yeah.
And just the flow of the story. But I think my favorite sequence is the rooftop meeting between him and Gordon. That exchange they have is just, I love that. I love Batman and Gordon. To me, that is the dynamic duo, and it just really hits home with that.
Yeah, it's interesting how they bring just the relationships, like we just talked about Alfred wanting Alfred back, and it's because like this, like I don't know, I'm trying to think of another Alfred book or a book that's Alfred's in. I think he's in the Sean Murphy Beyond the White Knight, or maybe he's dead in that one.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's died in the second volume.
He's in DC versus Vampires.
Okay, yeah. So like they're I don't even know what DC is thinking. Like they've had enough time; they could have brought him back. I wonder if they're just trying to make it feel like it meant something in that Tom King
run. I wonder if it's just because the writers don't want to mess with it yet. Like they don't know how to bring him back.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a strange thing. You can't just bring him back, but that's why I was wondering about this Dark Crisis thing, something to do with the multiverse. Like it's obviously either going to have to be 100% a hard reboot of Batman, or they're going to have to bring an Alfred back from a different universe. And I don't think that's happening in the Zdarsky run.
No, but also in the Zdarsky run, if you watch that teaser, it shows 3 Jokers. So I think, there's some stuff that maybe is not as off limits as we might have assumed.
For sure.
Unless that is just a tease and it doesn't mean what we think it does. But there's 3 Jokers there, and they're all distinct looking. Which, as you know, as everybody remembers, that's what that's same thing like that story had. There's 3 distinct Jokers.
Yeah.
One of them kind of reminds me of the Batman Beyond Return of the Joker.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. The one on the right.
Oh, yeah.
He's wearing all black, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're not long away from Zdarsky jumping on Batman with Batman 125, I think.
Cannot wait.
In July. Yeah, amped up that one. So what about this DC Vampires Hunters book?
Well, I didn't like the mainline book, the DC versus Vampires, but I saw this was a Damian book, so I wanted to read it. It was pretty cool. Yeah. I was a little bit lost. Like I didn't know that certain people were vampires, certain people weren't. Like Black Mask is a vampire.
Okay.
That was an interesting thing. I like that. I like the art in it for the most part. And just the idea of it, Damian is trying to protect the heroes, but he's a vampire himself. So that was an interesting thing. But I think it's a one shot. If I'm not mistaken.
That's what I was under the understanding as well. And I'm not sure. I assume they're going to be doing more of these.
I don't know. I probably wouldn't read them, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I didn't like the mainline book, and this one, if it wasn't Damien, I probably wouldn't have looked at it.
Yeah, it's that cover's pretty rad.
Yeah, it's got a cool cover. It was a cool book, but I'm not into it.
Yeah, I didn't. I think I read the first 2 issues of that one, and it just didn't do it for me. Matthew Rosenberg is the writer of that book. I have a hard time getting into his stuff, whether it be Marvel stuff or he's got an indie book right now. What's the furthest place from here?
Yes. Which
was pretty, Image hyped that one up pretty strong. I thought the first issue was incredibly boring and lame. But, Matthew Rosenberg is a big up-and-coming guy. He's seemingly got kind of DC's, kind of like the Tom Taylor thing going on, where I think he can do whatever he wants to do if he wants to. I don't know if he's a good seller or not, but I'm not a big fan of his writing.
I don't know if he's no offense to Matthew if he's watching this. We've spoken before, but
yeah, that's why I'm digging. That's why I'm sticking the knife in his back.
Right, we've spoken before, Matthew. No, I don't know if he's at the level. I agree with that. He probably can go wherever he wants, but I don't know if his name carries the same admiration that Tom Taylor's does. Because typically, if you hear Tom Taylor's writing a book, you're gonna read it.
I am 100%.
Yeah, I mean, even when I didn't like the detective book he wrote, I think it was called Batman the Detective. I didn't like
Yep.
it, but I checked it out.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Rosenberg is like that. There was something he wrote I liked, but I can't remember what it was. It was a while ago. It was before that indie book was coming.
It was an indie book though.
No, it was before the indie book. I want to say it was something
but it
DC.
was an indie book.
No, I
Like,
think it was something DC.
oh, okay.
I don't remember.
There's one thing that I did like. He wrote a book, and it's by the same person he did The Furthest Place from Here. It's called Four Kids Walk Into a Bank.
Mhm.
It's about a group of kids, like Stranger Things age kids, and they get wrangled into robbing a bank for one of the kids' fathers, who owes money to like a biker gang or something.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's an interesting book. I'm looking at his credits here. I'm not sure.
Oh, Grab's Heard 4 Kids is great.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm not sure what you would have read.
I don't know.
He's got a pretty big list though. Marvel, DC. He wrote Archie Meets the B-52s.
Oh wow, I gotta go pick that up.
Yeah,
I do like the B-52s. Archie, I could do without. Although I did want to read some of the newer stuff because, like, the Archie Meets the Predator or something.
So I think, yeah, and there's another one too where he.
Yeah, they had some crazy crossovers. Those look fun.
Yeah, those are always so much fun.
Was there a Scooby-Doo one, or am I just thinking there should be a Scooby-Doo one?
I think you maybe just thinking about the Batman and Scooby-Doo one,
which is awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's great. That and Batman and Ninja Turtles. You can't go wrong with either one of those.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of those ones. I think there's 3 arcs of them, 3 volumes.
Oh no, I meant the animated series. Not the animated movie.
Yeah, I was thinking about the comic book from our good friend James Tynan.
Yeah, I read some of it. It was good.
Oh, that's not a very high endorsement there, Chris.
It was good.
Yeah, so I didn't really read anything aside from older stuff this week. But I was telling Chris that I've been just so invested in watching things right now. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of things this week. Top Gun Maverick came out. We got the trailers for God, Love, and Thunder, or the second trailer.
Was that this week?
Yeah, that was on Monday, I think it was.
Oh.
Which feels like 100 years ago, by the way.
It does.
Because I was going to mention that I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, and I think I watched it on Monday, or I think it was Monday night. And it feels like I watched that movie 3 months ago. I don't know what happened with this week. It was just the weirdest thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got a chance to watch Everything Everywhere All at Once yet?
No.
So I tweeted about it that I wish it was called Everything Everywhere a Little Bit at a Time. There's like, this movie hits you in the face for 2.5 hours as soon as the movie starts, like from just simple dialogue where I think her name's Michelle Yeoh or Yo.
I think.
Yeah. So her and her husband and her daughter are just talking, and they're all having 2 separate conversations, and it just feels like they're hitting you over the head with what this movie is going to be like. And you're like, oh, okay, this is, you got to really pay attention with the dialogue, because they switch back from English, and I think it's Chinese, or I'm not sure if it's Mandarin or what it is, but it switched back and forth very often between subtitles and English. So you got to pay attention right away. And then it has some of the weirdest things you will ever see in a movie, in a most PG-13 way.
Good or bad?
It's great. Okay. Like, good stuff. Like, I have you seen any of the trailers for it?
Yes, I saw the I think the initial trailer they put in theaters, and I thought it was very cool.
Did you see the thing about their hands? Have you seen anything about their hands?
I don't think so.
I don't want to spoil it for you because it's just craziness. But there's scenes in there that involve Jamie Lee Curtis, which I didn't know was in the movie for as much as she was, and Michelle Yeoh. There's a couple scenes between the two of them that make you, if I was to describe it to you right now, you would give me the weirdest look. But then when you watch it, you actually feel very emotional about the whole thing, and heartwarming.
Okay.
In a certain way. Yeah, this movie is beyond expectations.
Okay.
like so it's funny that it's a multiverse movie, which is it's about multiverses, different universes, and different realities, and it came out the same kind of time as the Multiverse of Madness, which I found was very interesting. Anyways, it's the weirdest, most strange, hard hitting, crazy movie that I've ever seen. I wish it wasn't so long. It's 2.5 hours, or 2 hours and 15, maybe 20 minutes. It's a little bit too long. It's definitely a movie you should watch. I don't know if everyone will like this movie because of, like I was saying, it hits you over the head for those 2 hours nonstop and doesn't let up until that final scene. So I recommend that highly. Zeddy will know what I'm talking about. I think he was a big fan, or I know Nico was a big fan of Everything Everywhere All at Once. But yeah, if it could just if it turned down one notch, it still would have been a great movie, and it probably would have been a little easier to digest.
Yeah, anyone who I know who has seen it seems to love it, like absolutely adore it, and I think it's pretty cool that it's getting those kind of reviews. It's just, also we've talked about this before. We don't just like comic book movies; we like all kinds of movies.
Oh, yeah.
So it's great to have such a variety in theaters again, and to have so many high quality things to watch. Whether it's Top Gun Maverick or this movie, or even like The Northman, Sonic the Hedgehog was amazing.
Yep. Yep.
So it's just nice to have the variety in theaters again. And I'll get to this one as soon as I can, because this is high on my list that I want to watch.
Yeah, it's been high on my list ever since I saw the trailer. Just because it took like a superhero idea, multiverse, science fiction-y, but it put it into an indie, like this one's an A24 movie. It turns the whole genre on its head. It's so crazy.
Zeddy is putting Top Gun over the Batman. That is a tall order, sir.
He told me this the other day, and I almost dropped my phone. I was so surprised when he said that, because Zeddy was championing the Batman for what, 3 years?
Yeah, Zeddy was.
As long as I've known Zeddy, all he talks about is the Batman and everything about the Batman. And to hear him say that, I was so surprised when he said that.
But it apparently is amazing. I didn't get to go see it. I was supposed to see it on Thursday, but I got too busy, so I'm hoping to check it out tomorrow if I have time. But I'm excited. Everybody loves it, and it looks cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch it on my TV at home.
Yes, Battleship does blow the competition out of the water. I'm waiting for Battleship 2, but like Rihanna is the new lead character, and they just have like a passing of the torch moment between her and Taylor Kitsch. I'd like to see that happen.
Yeah, I want to say thanks to Grab. Thanks for the continuity. Thanks for linking our shows together. brings it all around.
I'd like to see like Taylor Kitsch hand her a battleship piece, like little ship. Like they do a handshake, like, and they pass it. Yeah, your game, handshake. We see, it's like she opens her palm. Oh, there's a little battleship. They pass the torch. Kind of like, have you ever seen, is it called The Rundown with The Rock?
And what's his name?
What is his name? Sean
William Scott.
Yes.
That's it.
The blonde guy.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, there's a moment where Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, for no apparent reason, just walks by The Rock in the movie. And that was like the passing of the torch.
Right.
It was like, dude, The Rock is like his second movie. He just came out of the Scorpion King. What is this for?
He wasn't ready to get past that torch yet.
No. The Rundown is fun, though.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what he says? Grabs you up? I don't remember. It's something really bizarre. It's like, what is this even for? And also, how much did they pay Arnold to be in that movie? That's another thing.
Yeah, probably just as much as The Rock to be in that movie back then.
It was crazy. His check was probably the budget of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, The Rock. That's his favorite Rock movie.
Ooh.
It is a good one, though. It is pretty fun.
What's your favorite Rock movie that he's in? You got one? Can you think of one? Yeah, isn't it tough?
The Game Plan, I think.
Really?
I actually love The Game Plan, yes. The Game Plan, or I don't know. I actually really like Rampage.
Yeah, Rampage is my pick. I could, and the other one just because it's my family. We could watch Moana every day
Oh, can we count
of
Moana?
the week. I'm gonna count Moana because
Then
we
I'm
can.
gonna go with Moana.
My family can watch that movie every day. We can listen to the soundtrack every time we're in the car. So much fun.
Oh, I can watch that in Canto like back to back, and just that's my day.
Yeah, well, Rampage is so good. That's another one I was really surprised about. It's based off a video game where monsters punch buildings.
The best part of it, the best part is that it's The Rock who finishes off the giant alligator, not the ape. It is The Rock that finishes the giant alligator off in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers, but hey,
Mm-hmm.
it's been out for a while.
Speaking of The Rock, did you see that we're going to be getting the Black Adam trailer soon, June 8th?
I did see that. I'm pretty excited.
I was going to say, and he's been posting a bunch lately. I guess they've been doing the reshoots.
Yeah, they have.
For the movie. He's been posting a lot of behind the scenes stuff. A lot of just him looking like he's the biggest, strongest, most muscly man in the whole entire world.
So about that.
Yeah.
Why do they keep needing to remind us that the suit has no padding? Like, we get it. You're a roided out monster. We understand. Why do you got to keep bringing it up, man?
He's excited, man. He worked his entire life, to be in this movie.
Well, I hope
he was cast in this movie when he was 2 years old.
Apparently. He was like, "I'm Black Adam." Those were his first words, apparently. Hierarchy.
That's right. The hierarchy.
Wait, what does that mean? Hierarchy. No, but really, I'm very excited for the movie and to see the trailer. Mm-hmm. I think he looks great in the suit too.
Yeah.
That's something I was very curious about beforehand when they announced it. Like, well, how's it going to look different from Shazam's suit? Is it just going to be a black version of it?
Yeah.
Black and gold, or what are they going to do with it? And I think it looks different enough, but it's still very recognizable that they wear the same thing. Mm-hmm. So pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. I'm trying to think what movie it would be coming out with. I don't know what movie's coming out next week. Jurassic World.
I was going to say it's probably Jurassic World, yeah.
Probably right, Jurassic World, so that's right.
Is that this week?
It's next week, yeah, June 10th.
Oh, okay.
And then the Rock's on June 8th, the trailer for Black
Adam. Yeah, it's going to be with Jurassic World then. Maybe they'll rock bottom a T-Rex.
Now that's a movie I want to see.
I'd watch it. Put that in Velocipaster, like a midnight movie back-to-back thing. Let's do it.
Yeah. Another thing that I watched this weekend, or started on Friday, was Stranger Things Season 4. Chris, have you watched any Stranger Things?
I've watched the first 2 seasons, and I watched the first episode of Season 3.
Did you not like it, or you just didn't get to it? Or?
I watched and I was like, okay, I'm done. It's not that I didn't like it, just I didn't have the time to sit there and watch all of it. And it didn't really It wasn't something where I said I have to come back and see what happens. How are you liking the new season though?
Yeah, it's okay. So I'm watching it with my daughter, which is kind of fun. Me and my son bond over Star Wars, which we'll talk about, and dinosaurs and all that kind of stuff. So this is one of the first things that me and my daughter are actually watching together for the first time, which is kind of painful a little bit because she would sit in front of her, sit on the couch and watch her iPad for 12 hours a day and watch the entire season just like that. But we're spacing it out. We've watched 3 episodes so far. It's tough. They're an hour and 15 minutes each episode.
Oh, that's long.
Yeah. So it's not like a 45-minute episode or 50-minute episode. Like that extra 20 minutes or half hour is a little tough. I've had a real love-hate relationship with Stranger Things. Season 1 is great. Mm-hmm. I think season 2 is bad. Yes. I think season 3 is great. And now we're into season 4. So I like it when the crew's all together. Season 1, they're pretty much together, a lot of the time. Season 2 is different because Elle kind of does her own thing. And then season 3 brings them all together again. So this season, I'm not sure if you've seen the trailers or you know the story. Some people are in California and some people are in Hawkins. So the crew is not all together. So I like it when they're all together, but the crew's so big now that like one crew has, 5 or 6 people in it already. But I'm waiting for for all the heroes to come together. That's what I like to see. It's really strange how old the kids are.
Yeah.
It's really strange in some cases. Mike, especially, he's 7 feet tall Finn Wolfhard is so tall and so skinny. He's so strange. Millie Bobby Brown's, so it's just so different. The show only came out, I think it's 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 4 years ago.
It's about 4 years, I think.
Yeah. 4 years. It seems like the kids have aged 20 years in that time.
Well, yeah, that's the interesting thing when they make these shows with children and they expect to make more. Like Shazam's going to have the same issue, or is having the same issue.
Yep.
Kids grow up pretty quick, went from 13 to 18. There's a lot of growth there. I mean, even when you watch Ghostbusters, McKenna Grace, she looks like she's a 12-year-old in that movie. Yeah. But if you'd seen her when it was being promoted, I didn't believe it was the same kid.
Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting if they make a sequel to Afterlife and she's in it, how, they keep her as the cute, nerdy one rather than she'll just be, as old as Mike and his girlfriend by the time this movie comes out.
Did you see there's going to be some kind of Ghostbusters announcement, I think first week of June?
I did not see that.
Yes, there's some kind of announcement. I don't know what it is.
Hope it's a sequel, baby.
I hope so, too. I hope so, too. Maybe they do like a crossover with Stranger Things.
See, that would be amazing.
I would watch that. Stranger Things feels a lot like Power Rangers. When the OG cast got too old, it almost didn't feel as compelling anymore. Okay, I go for that. Is that what you're feeling, too?
Yeah, I'm not. Maybe. I'm tired of this Elle. I'm only 3 episodes in, but 11 is. I don't know. Her storyline isn't doing it for me. I don't know. It's still too early. I think it's only 3 episodes. Hopper's kind of still doing his thing wherever he is. You haven't watched, so it really doesn't matter. But I'm just waiting for that crew to come together, waiting for the storylines all to converge. But so far, the budget is incredible. The visual effects in the first 3 episodes are pretty crazy. It's an interesting thing considering the week that's happened in the world. There's a lot of kids dying in the first 3 episodes. Not obviously in supernatural ways, but it's still, I don't know, something about kids dying at a certain time, doesn't feel right sometimes. But we'll see how it goes going forward.
Hold on. So I guess that doesn't feel right sometimes. Usually I'm the one with the weird that says the weird stuff.
Yeah, usually in TV shows and stuff, I'm usually okay with it. I remember when I watched Rob Zombie's Halloween for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
The first half hour, 45 minutes of that movie is basically just young Michael Myers just killing kids. Sometimes, like he meets that one kid in the woods. He hits him on the back of the head with a log.
I think I may have blocked that movie out.
Yeah. Grabs posted that about Barbara. There's a callback to that in season 4.
Where is Barbara? Like, why did they just left her dead? That's horrible.
Yeah, there's a callback in season 4 about the horrible things that had happened in Hawkins, and they show her scene of her in the pool again.
I was thinking of watching like a recap just so I could watch season 4 because I don't want to sit through season 3.
Yeah.
And I just kind of want to watch a recap. Maybe I'll catch up. But me, I always have a backlog of things to get to. So.
Season 3 is good and 4 is good because Maya Hawke is in it. Uma Thurman's and Ethan Hawke's daughter. She's great. And she was in the Fear Street show as well for that first little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Watch any of those ones? Anyway, she died pretty quickly I think it was the first one.
Oh, yeah, she's the first victim, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, in the mall. So anyway, she's great. I love her in season 3 and season 4. She's just as good as well. So that's what I got into. But I'll ask you what you watched, but I wanted to get into Kenobi as well. But would you watch anything else?
Well, before I do that, I do have to watch Tomorrow Grabs because I want to be in the know and I want to know what everybody's talking about. Because actually, one of the reasons I didn't watch season 3, or I haven't finished it, because I know the spoilers for it. So I kind of feel like, well, I don't have the context to it, but I know the big cliffhangers and stuff. It's like, why am I supposed to watch this?
Yeah, that is tough when you know what happens and you still have to watch it anyways.
Yeah, it's like, you remember the movie The Others with Nicole Kidman?
Yeah.
I knew the ending to it before I went to the theaters. So so it kind of ruined the whole thing. It's like, well, this sucked. But anyway, what did I watch? I watched something.
Mm-hmm.
What did I watch? I don't remember, but I watched something.
Okay, well, let's talk about Kenobi.
I did watch Kenobi, yes.
episodes 1 and 2 dropped this week. What'd you think?
So I think as a whole they're magnificent. I think separately they are messy.
Okay.
The first episode I think could have been trimmed down a lot, and they could have just made one episode.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on Reva. I think that she's very over the top, and she kind of just walks around being intimidating. I'm not into it. It reminds me of the villains in the Masters of the Universe movie, if you remember that.
I never saw it.
Oh, well, okay. So the villain group basically just walks around looking menacing and not really doing anything.
Okay.
And that's the exact vibe I got from them. They're also very different looking. So like you have Reva, who's kind of just like a human. You have the Grand Inquisitor, who looks like he's got a basketball for a head.
Yeah, weird ear pods on too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those look like they're noise canceling. How does he hear anything?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You have Sung Kang. I don't know the character's name.
I think he's the fifth brother.
Fifth brother? Is that what he is?
I think fifth brother's his name. Yeah.
I think he has a cool look, but he doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
And then they introduced the other character in the second episode who does nothing.
The with the more lines on her
and the braids, I think, or maybe it was the Twilight things. I don't know. But I enjoyed I really did enjoy the two episodes together. I just separately, I think they're messy, but together they are pretty good. I'm glad they released them together.
Yeah, it's interesting how much doesn't happen in the show.
Yes,
like a lot of Obi-Wan going to work, going home.
Why did we need to see him do that like 3 times?
Well, I think what they were trying to show us that this is his life, and by the end of it, he's bored of it, and that's why he does. That's why he does what Bale says or Bale asks of him.
I want to get to this too, but we'll get to that in a minute because a lot of speculation on that one. What do you think about it?
Yeah, so I'll talk about Reva. I agree with what you're saying about her as what she's doing, but the idea of her is great. An old Jedi who turned and is hunting. Like, I didn't know this thing. Obviously, I haven't seen any of the cartoons, Rebels. I saw a little bit of Clone Wars. I don't know if that matters right now for this. But I don't know about these Inquisitors. I don't know about what happened after Order 66. So seeing that stuff and then opening on that scene as well was quite a surprise. Opening on the scene with the young Jedi. I'm like, what are we doing here? Who are these young Jedi? I thought they're all gone. But then seeing it play out a little bit more was really good. And the biggest thing that I was talking to Zeddy about this, it's making the prequels matter. A lot of people shit on the prequels. I like 2/3 of them and absolutely hate 1/3 of them. But I like that it matters. I like even the opening recap when you first put it on, it's all stuff from the prequels about Obi-Wan and Anakin.
It is, but if you like paying attention to it, it kind of cuts out Attack of the Clones and the Phantom Menace. It really just focuses on Revenge of the Sith. I wonder if that was strategic because they understand.
I think they tried to do over those 3 movies. They tried to build relationships. They tried to build a relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan and Anakin and Padme. I don't think it worked in both of the cases. And I think that's what this is really trying to do. Obviously, we see Obi-Wan in the very last scene when he realizes that Anakin is alive. We see the scene where he says his name, and obviously, Anakin's floating in a water tank or whatever that thing.
Bacta tank.
Yeah, Bacta tank, healing or whatever. So they're really trying to make the prequels matter. Really trying to make them, and then maybe I don't know if they're trying to fix them in a way, fix past mistakes or try and connect things a little bit more. I had a great time with the show, and a lot of surprises in the show. Stuff that I wasn't expecting. I hadn't read anything about it, so I wasn't expecting the inclusion of certain characters. I didn't expect to see Flea as well, which I thought was kind of fun. It kind of threw me off a little bit. They got Bill Burr for the Mandalorian. That kind of throws you off a little bit. But seeing Flea,
I could take Bill Burr, but Flea was like out of the blue.
Yeah,
did not expect
very strange.
Yes, he is. I think Ewan McGregor really, he is a selling point for this series. He snaps back into the role, and it's just perfect. No complaints on Ewan McGregor at all. especially those final moments of episode 2.
Yep.
Those were really, really well done. Really well done. I think they are trying to fix mistakes from the prequels. I don't know if I didn't really get that sense, but I do feel like retcons are coming.
Well, and the inclusion of one character, who Eric is mentioning here, I think is going to help with the fixing of some things and, what happened in the prequels. Before we get into a little bit more, are you okay with that kind of stuff? We talked about, how comic accuracy changes things, but what do you think about when they change something from 20 years ago in a movie to something that's a sequel to it in a TV show or a movie going forward? Do you think the continuity, the retconning of things, does that matter to you?
Flea is a member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He is the kidnapper, the main kidnapper. Mm-hmm. As far as retconning goes, no, it doesn't bother me as long as it makes sense. I mean, obviously there's continuity mistakes between the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, which is strange considering it's George Lucas who oversaw it all. But in the case of this, where it's new people, I don't really mind it as long as it serves the story's purpose. Like, one of the things they seem to be retconning is something I think makes A New Hope better in a way. Because if there's already a relationship there,
you're right.
It helps. Mm-hmm. It's not so out of the blue and it gives you more context. So in a way, it enriches it, I suppose. But then you have other stuff that could be done. Like, I think it's inevitable we're going to have an Obi-Wan Anakin rematch of some sort.
Yes.
Very excited for that. I know a lot of people are not.
Because of New Hope, because of their duel.
Right. Because, the dialogue is kind of specific there. Mm-hmm. So you're going to have to do some mental gymnastics to make it work, which I disagree with, really. I mean, they're made 40 years between each other. It's okay.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. The movie's long enough now; you can change things. It's not the end of the world. Like my son, who's watching it, is not going to be like, "Oh, but they didn't do that." That's not what it's about. If my son can watch this and see Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi fighting, I think that's a win. Yeah,
I think so too. And plus, if I'm being honest, I don't like the fight they have, the duel they have in A New Hope. I don't like it. No, to me, and I know it's a product of its time. They couldn't really do a lightsaber duel in that one, so I get it. But I'm not against a solid rematch.
So you mentioned you want to talk about a little bit, and who mentioned it about the
grabs.
Who Reva is, why she's angry, why she's hunting Obi-Wan. The opening scene, we get to see some young Padawans escaping the Jedi Temple during the Order of 66, and then we learn that Reva was an old Jedi who turned on the Jedi and is now, I don't know, I guess you'd call her a Sith, or I don't know.
She's her sister.
Yeah. So, and you're you thinking that she was there in the Jedi Temple and she escaped?
Yes. I'm not really sure what's going on. There's a reason they showed us that. That's my thinking. There's a reason they showed us that, and I'm thinking she was there. But what that has to do with Obi-Wan, I don't know.
That's what I was wondering. Why is she angry at Obi-Wan? Obi-Wan wasn't even on that planet at the time.
No, he was fighting Grievous at the time.
Yeah.
The only Anakin was there, of course.
Obviously.
Yeah, Anakin was there. Yoda was off. Yoda was on Kashyyyk at the time. I think Mace Windu was already dead. Yeah, Mace Windu was already dead.
He's dead.
So I'm not sure what the connection is to Obi-Wan, but I do think she had to be in that temple. That had to be the reason they showed us that opening.
Well, it's 10 years later. So how old are they when they're Padawans? They're like 9 or 10?
I think they could be older than that.
Or younger, too. So I'm thinking about it. She looks about, 20, 25. Or
the same age. She was like 15-ish. Like 13 to 15, which 10 years on top of that, she'd be 23 or 25. So I think that would work. Mm-hmm. And they do kind of treat her like the youngest one there. Mm-hmm. So that's my guess. But I want to know what the connection is. It can't just be she wants to be Anakin's best friend.
Yes. And I like that this Jedi thing, the hunting Jedi thing, but I just want to see why. One thing that I didn't like about it was there was an action scene in it where Obi-Wan is on the roof. He's getting shot at. And Reva is somewhere and she's jumping and doing flips, which is cool. But then, so the fight ends. Anakin or Obi-Wan shoots a guy. That guy, the Velociraptor bounty hunter, he dies. Reva's still jumping and jumping and jumping, and then Obi-Wan just walks away, and I don't know where Reva was.
How many space kilometers was she from them? Because
Like,
it didn't
yeah,
seem like
she
she was
went a
that
mile.
far.
No.
She could see what was going on, so she wasn't that far. And with the parkour she was doing, she was like Assassin's Creed across these rooftops.
That's what it felt like, yeah.
Like Assassin's Creed with the speed of Moon Knight or something. Because he also was doing some parkour there. I'm not really sure how she missed the fight. And like Grab said, where was she going?
I don't know.
And then she ends up in some random alley.
Yeah, I don't know. It's that whole thing was very strange. I'm like, okay, they're gonna have a battle of some kind, and then he just walks away, and
she was just like perched on a random rooftop, like Batman, waiting for something to go on.
Yeah, she was Batman waiting for the bat signal to come up in the sky.
And then I'm gonna nitpick some more and read because you guys opened the can here. When Obi-Wan escapes, right?
Yeah,
she is like eye level with the door, and she's just sitting there screaming, Obi-Wan, and just going nuts. Like, lady, aren't you a Jedi or a Sith?
Yeah.
Come on.
Stick your lightsaber through the side of the hull.
Do that or use some kind of, use some kind of force powers. Do something except yell into the void. Come on. Mm-hmm. That's my nitpick, but I still like the show and I liked her.
Yeah, there was just small things for me. Nothing took me out of it.
No.
The biggest thing that took me out of it was the surprise. I guess we'll just mention it because it's been mentioned in the comments. But the inclusion of Leia.
Did you like it?
No, I did. I loved it. I just didn't expect it at all. Like, I wasn't expecting this whole Alderaan and old man Organa, and Leia. I was not expecting this. I don't know if we're going to see more of it, but this subplot, I was not expecting at all.
I don't think we will. I think that this was just to kickstart the 2 episodes.
Okay.
But I really liked the actress. I liked the way the character was written. Very happy with it. Yeah. I didn't. I don't think she was in trailers. I talked to Nico about it. We don't think she was in trailers or anything, or even mentioned who she was playing. But Nico said they did mention she was cast. The little girl was cast, not who she was playing. So that was a complete surprise. Jimmy Smith was a complete surprise.
Love it.
One of my favorite scenes is just when you see him for the first time, honestly.
Yeah. And
I love the thing with the Jawa because it's fun when you watch that and you think in A New Hope how he still messes with Jawas. If you're going to steal my things, at least clean them. Right. It had a lot of good stuff, I think. A solid start. Yeah. Really solid start.
Yeah, I like the stuff with Leia too. I like how sassy she was. I like the conversation that she has with Jimmy Smith about being a leader.
Mm-hmm.
And how she says she doesn't want to be a senator, all that kind of stuff.
I love that. That's whole exchange.
And then the other one closer to the end where Obi-Wan says, I knew someone like you.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about her mother, obviously. I thought that was really, really good stuff.
Yeah, that kind of went over my head the first time.
Okay, yeah.
I thought she was talking about Anakin. But
so if there was a bad action scene in this second episode, there's a really lame one in the first one too, where she gets captured. It's that little run through the woods.
Mm-hmm.
These are grown men, and they're getting stopped by twigs that she's putting in their way, and they can't jump over these twigs. They can't run faster than a little girl in the woods. I thought that was pretty lame too. So far the action is kind of so, and more of the storytelling so far has really worked for me, as well as the actors. I'm not as down on Reva as you are. I understand.
I don't hate her or anything.
I understand where you're coming from for sure, and it's really interesting considering where she is left off at the end of the episode with what happens between her and the Grand Inquisitor.
I don't know. Maybe it will come back around, but that would be a large retcon if Anakin finds out.
Yes,
that is a large retcon. So that one, I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I read something about that on, I forget where it was today, about who this Grand Inquisitor was and where he is. Elsie is in the Star Wars universe. So
he's around. I don't know much about these characters, but I play Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and they play a large part in that.
Yep. So that's Kenobi. Excited about it. Ready to watch more. Ready to see where else it goes.
More,
With the story.
please.
Oh, please.
Please, sir.
Yeah. So that's what we read, what we watched this week, guys. Let's get into the poll from last week. That's the wrong poll. Maybe that is the right poll. Which one is the poll from last week?
Something about
New actors
casting.
one?
Yes.
That's right. I got it here. No actor wants to play a single character forever. So it's inevitable that we're going to see new Iron Man, Wolverine, Captain America, etc. Do you want new actors, or would you rather them just retire the character? We had options in our poll. Yes, no, depends on the timing. And the Batman is on HBO Max. The winner was yes. Everyone's pretty comfortable with getting new characters or new actors cast in older roles. We're eventually going to see, I assume, a new Iron Man. We've seen multiple Batmen. We've seen multiple Spider-Men. Chris, what do you think? What's more important, the character or the actor?
No actor is bigger than any character. So just recast. I'm cool with it. I love James Bond. He gets recast every few years. Batman, it gets recast every few years. It's part of it. You can't have these actors. They cannot dedicate their lives to it.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I hope Pattinson stays around for like 10 years. But,
that's right.
I mean, I'd like to see them, play play the role a significant amount of times as long as they like it, of course. But when they're done, they're done.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat as you, and it seems like everybody else was kind of in the poll as well. Our friend Aaron said that's Marvel's next hurdle. DC has been doing it for decades, but this whole multiverse makes things more interesting. Comic Guy Steve on Twitter says new actors for characters only as part of a new universe. So if there's any sort of reboot, I'm good with it. What do you think about that idea, Chris? We're kind of holding on to what you have created, but if you're going to reboot, restart, that's a time to change.
Yeah, I could go for that. I think that's actually a good way to do it too, because you might have less fan baggage on that one. Like, oh, okay, this is a new Tony Stark. Because let's face it, Tony Stark and Wolverine are the two big ones. You will not please fans. It doesn't matter if you get like you find a way to transfer the actual comic book into the film. It's people aren't going to buy it. They're going to have a hard time with it. So, yeah, if you do the new universe, that does help. I'm cool with that. But I also think, we're used to recast. We're used to actors being recast. I don't think it's as big of a deal, even in the universe. And you don't have to wink at it or acknowledge it. You just do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Eric has mentioned on our poll and in the comments that he wants to see Laura as the next Wolverine. I think that. What do you think that idea of instead of recasting Batman or recasting Wolverine, you bring in somebody else who has also been that character? So instead of Bruce Wayne as Batman, instead of that you do a Dick Grayson Batman movie or something like that.
You don't.
I know you don't like that idea.
You don't do that.
It's just an example, Chris. It's just an example. It's just an example.
A bad example.
Yeah. So what do you think about that idea?
No, like a legacy character.
One. Yeah. Instead of Logan, let's have Laura.
No, I'm cool with that.
Is that the easier way to do it for sure?
I think that is a great way to do it when you have. Like Logan and Laura are to me a specific kind of thing because they are both Wolverine, and I want the Wolverines on screen. I want them both. But yeah, if they just went with Laura, I'd be completely cool with that. You could just have Laura. But you would have to explain where she comes from, so you're gonna need a Logan in some capacity. So even then, you're still gonna have to deal with a recast. But
I think of other characters that could work with.
Well, so I was thinking we got Sam Wilson as Capricorn. Love that. Yeah. There's others. Isn't there a different Aquaman?
Yeah, there's what's his name from Young Justice, Calder.
Right.
Jackson Hyde.
Donna Troy.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing that DC was doing with what you call it, that comic line that they did. Where it changed everything. What the hell was that called? Anyways, where they had Yara, Wonder Woman.
Future State.
Future State. Jace is Batman.
Yeah,
John is Superman. That kind of thing. So I think that I wonder if that's a better way to go rather than recasting. Eventually you're going to recast, but I keep thinking about this Black Panther thing
Mm.
as well, where they didn't recast after Chadwick Boseman died.
No, they did legacy,
So
or they're doing the legacy thing.
yeah, exactly. So I wonder if you have to recast, you don't do it right away, like what they're doing with Anthony Mackie as Cap in Captain America 4. They're not just bringing in a new. I know it makes sense in the story why there is no Steve Rogers because of Endgame, but instead of just bringing Steve Rogers in right away, let's do a different one. And then when Anthony Mackie does 1, 2, 3 movies, after that'll be like 10 years, and then we'll recast Steve Rogers.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I don't mind legacy characters. The thing for me with legacy characters is, and I was making the joke, no Dick Grayson Batman, but if they did it, fine. I don't really care. Batman's Batman, and I'd give it a shot. But the thing about legacy characters is they fit because it's already there. It's not like they decided to. What is the character's name on Gotham Knights?
Who?
Bruce Wayne's new son. What is his name?
Hunter, or
was it Hunter Hayes or something like that?
Yeah, I think that's it. I'll look it up.
I was gonna call him Isaac Hayes, but that's a different man. That's a whole different thing. Well, anyway, when there's like an established legacy character, I think that's cool. I personally
Turner Hayes.
Turner Hayes, even better. Like if
that's
they
worse than what we were thinking.
Yeah, like if they went straight to like a Damian Batman, all for it.
Yeah.
Or even like a Terry McGinnis Batman Beyond, all for that too. Laura, let's do that. Because there are ways around recasting the character, because I think that the universes have grown beyond just the one character. If that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure it does.
There's a lot of ways to do it, but you just can't stick with, this actor played the character, we don't need to ever see him again. No. I'm not.
Yeah, we only had 2.7% of the vote was no. So everyone is pretty open to it happening. And I think, at a certain point, I wonder about the idea of being upset about an actor's casting in a superhero role, considering what, have we ever been right about about complaining about an actor being cast as somebody?
I mean, that's
like
just
Heath Ledger complained about, Ben Affleck, people complained about, people complaining about Robert Pattinson. Like, eventually, we if once we see the movie, we eventually just change our minds and say, it was a good thing after all. At a certain point, we have to just accept that these things happen, and the studios know what they're doing when it comes to casting most of the time.
We're not casting directors.
No.
And I think also at the end of the day, there's no reason to judge something before you watch it. I'm always in that wait and see mode. Let's see how it plays out. If I don't like it after I watch it, fine. If I hated it, fine again. I'll wait for the next one.
That's right.
It's kind of the way I look at it. But yeah, everybody's entitled to their opinion, and some people just do not like things like this, and that's fine too.
I'm trying to think if there was one that I would actually be upset about. Like you mentioned James Bond. Obviously, Daniel Craig's come to his conclusion in a certain way. But maybe, do you think if Daniel Craig didn't have a fitting end and they just cast somebody else for, I don't know, story reasons, they wanted to go younger for some reason, and they didn't get that closure, do you think you would be upset about that?
No, I was actually ready to say goodbye after Spectre.
Yeah.
I consider No Time to Die as a bonus.
A big bonus.
A wonderful bonus.
Yeah, great bonus. Jeez.
I just kind of, I don't think you need these so Chadwick Boseman, I think, is a very specific case.
Yeah.
Because he was the first Black Panther. He's the only Black Panther, and he embodied that role so well. And he was just so good in it. I can see where there's the hesitation. Well, how do we recast him? That's kind of a different thing. But it just kind of varies on these things,
100%. So that's the poll for last week, guys. We got another one up on the Twitter account right now at the Geeks. Do you usually watch or read things based solely on the talent involved, or does the concept need to grab you first? So it's kind of a bridge off of what we were just talking about. there's a new actor in something or a new writer, a new character, get you more involved in that property. So let us know on the Twitter account, guys. Make sure you give us some comments as well, and we will read them on the show.
And don't be shy if you only watch Pauly Shore movies.
I hope nobody does.
He was actually supposed to be the caveman in Encino Man. I just found that out the other day.
Instead of Brendan Fraser?
Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be Pauly Shore.
Huh.
That would have changed the whole movie, I think. Like
that would have changed a lot of things.
I don't know if it would have been as memorable. I don't even know if the new generation knows that movie very well.
I don't think so.
Like, I know my kid has no idea what Encino Man is.
Nope. I don't think I want them to know what Encino Man is.
I think Encino Man is an educational film.
That's right. Educational. All right, guys. So make sure you head over to our Twitter account and let us know about our poll. Chris, anything else you want to talk about before we get on out of here?
There was something, but I cannot remember right now. What are you excited for next week?
Next week, I'm just going to check the upcoming comics because I don't really know what's coming out. There's not much for DC. They're on annual week. So there's the Batman annual, the Action Comics annual. You just read Little Monsters 3, but Little Monsters 4 comes out next week. It's a doozy. Got a chance to read that one already. Yeah, Grab's all about it. Also, our good friend James Tynan has a book out next week. It's one that he did on his Substack that Image picked up called The Closet. It's an interesting one as well. I think, Chris, you'll dig it. Yeah, it's called The Closet. It's hard to tell you what the story's about. Monsters in your closet is simple terms.
So like Scary Monsters, Inc.
Scary Monsters, Inc. Yeah. There's 3 pages, maybe 2 pages, that actually made me feel pretty scared when I watched it. Have you seen the movie Mulholland Drive?
I don't think I have. No.
Okay, so there's a scene in that where there's 2 people sitting in a diner, and the one is telling him a story, telling the other person a story. And it's a scary story, but then they walk out in the parking lot, and the story that guy just told happens in that parking lot. And it's a very slow-moving scene. Nobody raises their voice. There's no really scary, ominous music. I relate that to The Closet. It's very calm. It's actually pretty relaxed. There is raised voices, but not in the way that makes it scary. But then once the scary thing does happen, it just made me feel pretty uneasy. So I'm looking forward to that one. It's only 3 issues. Which is kind of interesting. If you were subscribed to James Tynan's Substack, you would have read it already, but it's coming out for Image next week. So if you can get your hands on that one, I would recommend reading that.
I will check that out. I like his stuff that's horror and different topics from what I've read.
Agreed. So yeah, I'm going to watch more Stranger Things season 4 with my daughter. Also, I've been watching The Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix.
I heard that's very good. I want to watch that too.
It's very good. So I recommend watching that. I got to catch up on that. I put aside Strange New Worlds this week. I've been meaning to get to that and something else. I put off watching Bosch Legacy to watch The Lincoln Lawyer. So I switched Michael Conley characters and got into that. So I'm going to make sure I catch up on those this week.
I'm going to catch up on Strange New Worlds too. I'm 2 episodes behind.
Yeah, I'm 1 episode behind. One just came out on Thursday, so
yeah, I'm the 2, so I need to finish that. I would have watched it when I got home on Thursday night, but Kenobi. So
Kenobi,
you know. Also, I got this week, which was really fun.
What do you got there?
So this is it's a line from Hasbro of X-Men action figures, and they come in these VHS style boxes. Pretty cool.
I love it already.
Yes, the figure's back here. If I grab them, I'm going to knock all this other stuff down, but we're going to try this just because I think he's awesome.
Hold your breath.
We didn't have anything down. What I like about him is, I don't know if you can see it, he comes with the picture of Gene and Scott. I love this thing.
That's so funny.
Yeah, because, they actually have a 12-inch version of him that comes with, I think it's a bed he sits on, and he can hold the picture frame. It's really funny.
I love that that meme is an all timer.
It is, and now there's a figure or two to go with it.
Nice.
So
that adds some color to your little table over there of all black people. You got Batman in a black suit.
Well,
you got
the
Joker's pretty dark. Yeah. Who's to Batman's right? Batman's right? Your left? No, your left. Yeah, who's that?
That's Frankenstein.
Okay. I thought it was Michael Myers for a minute.
No, the only Michael Myers I have is the pop figure.
I'll take it.
Yeah. And no, I need to rearrange that because you can't. I can't tell what's on there most of the time. But that was it. I just wanted to talk about Wolverine for a second.
Oh, there's always time to Wolverine here.
There is.
All right, hit us up with some plugs, and we'll get on out of here.
Okay, you guys can follow me on Twitter at thatchris70. But as usual, I prefer that you guys follow the show at G of the Geeks. We have a bunch of fun stuff going on there with polls and different things. We like to ask questions, what you guys read, or what do you think of this or that. So find us there, and there's a bunch of YouTube stuff. Emma knows how to explain.
Hey, you can follow me on Twitter at EmmettDavis7. And like Chris said, we are available. Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Just search Gathering of the Geeks, and you will find us. I want you to hit us up with some Apple reviews and likes as well. That'd be fun. I don't know what we would do with it. I think it'd just make everyone here feel very warm inside if you gave us a like on Apple Podcasts.
And we may have. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So we may have some fun giveaways coming too.
Yeah, things are in the works for different shows, more audio-only shows, some giveaways. So yeah, stick with us, guys. We're having a good time doing it. So I just want to say thanks to Grabs, Seti, Lauren, Eric, Matthew Anderson for jumping in. Thanks, guys, as always, for watching. And saying all that, for Chris and I'm Emmett, and we gather on Sundays.
Latest, Gators.